In the aftermath of World War II, Japan lay in ruins, a nation grappling with the immense task of rebuilding. Its cities, once vibrant, now teemed with a populace scarred by conflict and struggling against overwhelming odds. Amidst the rubble and the relentless pursuit of survival, a profound sense of despair permeated every corner of society. The streets were a stark tableau of human endurance, bustling with activity yet shadowed by pervasive poverty. Families, often displaced and destitute, faced an uncertain future, their daily lives a testament to the era's profound hardship. A pervasive somberness hung heavy in the air, reflecting the collective trauma and the daunting challenges ahead. This was a nation striving to rise from the ashes, yet beneath the surface of reconstruction, a festering darkness took root. It was within this crucible of desperation that the name Miyuki Ishikawa would become synonymous with a chilling chapter in Japanese history. She was a midwife, a figure traditionally associated with life and hope, but her actions would blur the lines between mercy and murder in the most horrifying way. As historians often note, post-war Japan was indeed a crucible of hardship, a society pushed to its absolute limits. The economic devastation was widespread, leading to rampant poverty and a severe scarcity of essential resources. Families struggled profoundly, often unable to provide even the most basic necessities for their children. In this environment, children, particularly newborns, tragically became an unbearable burden for many parents. The societal infrastructure was shattered, and the support systems that might have offered alternatives were simply non-existent. This created a desperate vacuum, which some, like Ishikawa, would exploit with devastating consequences. Miyuki Ishikawa held a respected position as a midwife at a prominent Tokyo hospital. Her daily work placed her at the very heart of the city's struggles, giving her an intimate view of the widespread desperation that gripped families. She witnessed firsthand the impossible choices parents faced, the crushing weight of poverty, and the profound lack of resources. From this vantage point, Ishikawa began to offer what she presented as a chilling solution to alleviate suffering. She systematically convinced parents, often those already overwhelmed by their circumstances, to abandon their newborns. Her persuasive tactics preyed on their vulnerability, promising an end to their impossible burdens. Once these infants were entrusted to her care, Ishikawa engaged in the secret disposal of the newborns. She neglected them, allowing them to perish from starvation or exposure, effectively orchestrating their deaths. This horrific campaign of infanticide continued unchecked for an extended period. Estimates suggest that the number of victims under her care tragically exceeded 100. Each infant represented a life extinguished before it had even truly begun, a silent testament to the depths of her depravity and the societal conditions that enabled it. The true scale of her crimes may never be fully known. Ishikawa's claimed motive for these unspeakable acts was a twisted form of compassion. She asserted that she was freeing these children from a life of inevitable poverty and hardship. She positioned herself as a savior, alleviating the suffering of both the infants and their desperate parents. However, as experts like Dr. Tanaka have pointed out, this presented a horrifying paradox. Her actions were a profound perversion of her professional oath, transforming a role dedicated to nurturing life into one that systematically extinguished it. Her self-proclaimed mercy was, in reality, a calculated and cold-blooded form of murder. For years, Miyuki Ishikawa's heinous crimes remained hidden, shrouded by the chaos and disarray of post-war Japan. The sheer scale of societal upheaval provided a grim cover, allowing her systematic infanticide to continue largely unnoticed by authorities. The focus was on survival, not on the quiet tragedies unfolding in the shadows. Disturbingly, there was also a degree of complicity from those around her. Some doctors and officials, aware of the desperate circumstances, allegedly turned a blind eye or even assisted in the cover-up. They may have been swayed by her twisted logic or simply overwhelmed by the era's moral ambiguities. However, the truth could not remain buried forever. The sheer volume of infant deaths associated with Ishikawa eventually began to raise alarms. The numbers were simply too high to be dismissed as natural occurrences, even in such a difficult period. Suspicious circumstances surrounding the deaths and a growing unease among some hospital staff and local residents finally triggered official attention. whispers turned into concerns, and concerns escalated into formal complaints. The pattern of deaths became undeniable. An investigation was subsequently initiated, slowly peeling back the layers of deception and neglect. Detectives began to piece together the grim reality of Ishikawa's operation, uncovering the systematic nature of her crimes. The initial findings were deeply disturbing, pointing to a deliberate pattern rather than isolated incidents. The investigation quickly revealed a disturbing network of corruption and cover-ups that extended beyond Ishikawa herself. It implicated others who had either facilitated her actions or actively concealed them for various reasons. This exposed a darker underbelly of complicity within the medical community. Ultimately, arrests were made, bringing Miyuki Ishikawa into custody. Her husband, who was also implicated in the scheme, and several accomplices, including doctors, were also apprehended. The net of justice began to close around those responsible for these horrific acts. The trial of Miyuki Ishikawa became an immediate media sensation, captivating a nation still reeling from war. Courtroom scenes dominated headlines, drawing immense public attention to the shocking nature of her crimes. It was a stark and painful reminder of the societal darkness that could fester even in the most desperate times. The proceedings laid bare the horrific details of her systematic infanticide, forcing the public to confront the moral compromises made during an era of extreme hardship. The trial became a national reckoning, sparking intense debate about responsibility, morality, and the value of human life. The legal proceedings were complex, navigating the unprecedented circumstances of post-war Japan. As Dr. Tanaka often highlights, the court acknowledged the difficult family circumstances of the time, which undoubtedly influenced the judicial process. This context played a significant role in how the crimes were ultimately viewed and judged. Despite the horrific nature of her crimes and the sheer number of victims, Ishikawa received a relatively light sentence. She was initially sentenced to 8 years in prison, a term later reduced on appeal. This outcome sparked considerable public outrage and continues to be a point of contention and discussion among legal scholars and historians. The leniency of the sentence reflected a society grappling with its own moral compass, struggling to assign blame in an era of collective trauma. It underscored the profound challenges of administering justice when the lines between victim and perpetrator, desperation and depravity, became so tragically blurred. The case of Miyuki Ishikawa, the Demon Midwife, remains a chilling reminder of the fragile line between mercy and murder. It stands as a stark historical marker, illustrating how extreme societal conditions can distort human morality and pervert the very essence of care. Her story compels us to reflect on the pursuit of justice, even in the most challenging of times, and the enduring importance of protecting the most vulnerable among us. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to support our channel. Your support helps us create more dark stories, true crime mysteries, and deep dives into the minds of history's most twisted figures.